Hello, folks.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I don't remember all the others. If you never watched the MTG Pro Tour, you would know what I was talking about anyway.
Good night and good luck.
And that's the way it is. This is the way it's gonna be. If you keep watching this same channel, this bat channel, this bat time, this bat station, yeah.
Yep,
all those things. So, yep, Alan's hitting these buttons like he always does.
Yeah, looks like Marcus is with us to start with.
I'm killing time as people wander in. We get our numbers up there to where we can't count them on like one hand or something, you know. We start grabbing onto some content, but we appreciate everybody who's already tuned in and tuning in now. So pleased as punch to be with y'all.
So pleased as punch, huh?
Pleased as punch. That's right. We are, of course, without our moderator. Shirley is still working on Thursday nights. So
yep,
somebody would like that job. Please take up the mantle and make yourselves
she's trying.
Welcome.
She's trying to get somebody trained up to take over night shifts.
Oh, I know. All right, so looks like we're ready to get into it while you finish up with your button.
Yep.
We are unsanctionable to unbelievable this week.
Yes.
So you'll see what that all means in just a little bit. But hey, Guildies, welcome back. You've got your cool machine turned into our media stream, and we are ready to bring you all the best information that's available right here out of Mountain Grove, Missouri, on the best little podcast in the West. We are west of the the Mississippi.
We're west of the east.
We're west of the east. That's right. So I don't believe Mountain Grove's got any other more beautiful podcasts than us coming out of it.
Not that I know of.
We are primarily MTG, but we wander in some other stuff a little bit here and there.
Board games, some RPGs.
Strap in, hold on tight. Let's ride this one all the way to the finish line, boys. Ooh. Yeah. I put it in the show notes up here, but but I forgot to put it in the bottom. Minor thing. Don't pay no attention. Move right along. This week we are going to talk about events that are happening right here at Grove Gamers Guild for all you locals. If you're not local, I'm sorry, but please support your local game store. Wherever you may be watching us from, please support your local game store. Things are getting tough out there, folks.
Yes.
But we're going to touch on the banned and restricted list update that came down this week. The hammer came down, but they did pop one nail out.
And that just may have made some people more upset. I don't know.
There are some printing holdups. We're going to talk about the delays in a couple things.
Yeah, a few things been held back. But
some remastered sets for Arena, if you're into that kind of thing. We're going to talk about some Commander do's and don'ts, and I don't know, we're going to talk about a few other odds and ends. But here's where we lose some folks. As in past weeks, we're starting off by talking about marginalized people.
Yes.
I guess, you know. And for the last few weeks, I've been using a little phrase when I pass along something that I learned from or that I think has instructive material in it or whatever. I put a little thing, educate yourself, and I just share it, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's not memes. I'm talking about people who have done some research and there's some stuff in there.
Actual articles and lectures.
I just put educate yourself. Please read. You know, do you want to educate yourself? And I recently did this with a post that described why black people can have black pride and not white people. And it basically, I don't want to go through the whole post, said that as white Americans, we have heritages that we can trace back to like Ireland, Poland, France, England, wherever.
Right.
You know, we can find that. But black people don't have that. They a lot of them, their ancestry came over on slave ships, were born here. They don't know where they're from, what tribe they're from. Very difficult to do. I know DNA testing is maybe opening that up somewhat. I'm not super familiar with it, but it might be. Africa's not a country, folks. That's a continent. Yeah. Okay?
23andMe, I know, a big online DNA testing has actually helped a lot of people with that, but it's still you're so far removed because of the history of what has happened to people.
So it's really the comments I want to talk about, and I don't know if the person who made this comment will be watching or not using their name. That's not important. But I said educate yourself, and the response was educate myself to what? liberal BS, victim theology, cancel culture. And I just said educate yourself as a human being, because really, I think we can all educate ourselves further as human beings.
Right.
This was, but I have. My point of view, along with millions of others, is just as valid as those of you who believe we white people are evil. First off, let me just say that point of view and opinion are basically just ideas and beliefs you've come up with.
Right.
So let's get that straight. I didn't set that part straight, but I'm going to put it straight here. And yes, one opinion's just as valid as another, not necessarily based on fact,
right.
But sure, you can have that. I owe you or no man nothing, black or otherwise. I'm proud of my heritage, my children, my country, my service in the military, my forefathers, and the American flag for which it stands, one nation under God. I see you the same way as you see me. Not sure there. I reject your self-loathing, your socialism, and all the other things you and the dim Nazi party represent. I am very woke, sir, and so are my children and their children. Have a lovely day, and know in your heart Trump will be our next president. Now, you know, I wanted to respond to this. So,
Right.
Let's be clear. You are entitled to your point of view, most certainly, but the ability to educate yourself should be lifelong. It does not stop. Changing your opinion because of new information doesn't weaken you as an individual. It strengthens you as a human and a community member. I also never said that white people were evil, so let's just be polite and ignore that part. Then you say a bunch of stuff about pride that I agree with. Should be proud of those things. Nothing wrong with that. We may see each other the same, just different, and that's okay, because I'm not really sure what he meant there.
Right.
I have no self-loathing for you to reject, so not sure where that comes from, unless you that in yourself. Everyone has a different degree of socialism they're comfortable with, and that's okay too. Your level and mine may be different. That's why we have a government to help regulate, which is also true. We do have socialism in this country already, have had it for 200 and some years,
Right.
to some degree. Dim Nazi is not a term I'm familiar with. Please educate me. If y'all know what it is, I mean, I can make stuff up, but you know, I thought maybe they meant feminazi, which I am familiar with, but I'm not a member since I don't consider equality to be a radical concept.
Right.
Feminazis are radical feminists. Well, I don't consider it radical that women should be treated equal. You may be woke, but I continue my journey as a human and hope to awaken more every day until I die, as the perfect me is unreachable. But I am happy if you have attained that level. Trump may very well be our next president, but in the current corrupt system we have in place, it is hardly a ringing endorsement of his abilities. I shall cast my vote for change with the Libertarian Party. Don't mind saying so right here publicly to all you folks. I also wish you a good day. Now, we had a little further exchange that was friendly and ended up kind of friendly, you know, the whole thing. And I just wanted to bring that up. We didn't get mad at each other.
Right.
We have differing opinions. We express those opinions. It continues on a little bit farther. I'm not going to read all that. But I just thought it was important to say that if you've got a belief, if you've got some education, if you know some knowledge, try to pass it around, try to pass it on. And if someone sends you some, try to get some, okay?
Right.
I don't know everything. I don't know most things. But I am trying to improve myself all the time. And I hope that each of you also are doing that. So that's sort of our little thing this week. You have
Yes.
anything to add to that, Alan? That was my exchange.
No, that
we
is
pulled
your
out.
exchange. I was going to let you handle that.
You got anything to add to the content there?
Well, I do just want to add from back in the beginning something that's been happening is the facts and opinions. There is
Opinions
a large,
are not fact.
Opinions are not facts, people. They are very, very different. And you can't... Now, even if you don't believe in a fact, it is still true. That is its nature.
That's what a fact is.
That is what a fact is. But I'll leave that, not tonight's not the time to jump on that. But
all right, we're going to move along into some normal gaming content.
Yes.
But we have been trying to take what small platform we have and try to promote better understanding. So,
learn, listen, care. That's what I've been saying.
What's I shared that video this week too.
It's from the creator of VeggieTales.
Yeah, there was a really good video showing how the last 200 some years have worked out for black people.
They really,
I don't remember the name of it.
Really
I apologize, but I did
a lot really on focusing in on the last 50 or 100 years.
Yes.
More so.
Yes.
Which is,
if you don't know what redlining is, you should look it up.
For our current situation, I mean, the past, slavery, those things, obviously very horrible, but the things that have happened since that ended are almost as bad and have caused the situation where we are now.
For my military friends who may be watching, look out how the GI Bill affected black people versus white people. Maybe you were all brothers in the service, but when they got home, they were not treated as brothers.
Right.
So, anyway, moving right along. Well, the second wave has hit us, and I'm not just talking about the big C word out there.
Right.
But WotC, along with a lot of other companies that had never opened back up or had already shut them down, has taken away sanctioned play. That's organized play. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon have done it.
Yeah.
Magic till at least the pre-release for Zendikar Rising in the middle of September. So here in your LGS, they can't run sanctioned events, meaning they can't use promo packs for prizes. Yep. They can use them for sales incentives, which is what we're doing here. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So I am still running events because we're able to here in Missouri.
Right.
And as long as I'm able to safely, I will keep doing that. And I believe currently that I'm safely able to do it. If you don't believe so, then please don't come to the store. And that is fine.
Yes.
Because we can have different opinions.
You are in charge of your own health and safety.
There are facts out there, and there are many ways to interpret those facts. Okay? Currently, I've been keeping tabs on local cases in the Tri-County area, and I think we may have just hit 100 in about 100,000 people population in the Tri-County area. That's a pretty tiny percentage. So again, keeping tabs on it. I'm making decisions for my business. I want each of you to make your decisions for you and not punish those people who are making decisions different from yours. If you want to boycott a place, that's fine. So anyway, we'll be doing Magic on Friday night. It just won't be F&M. We'll be doing drafts and stuff like always, and I'll have prizing, just no promo cards, all right? So this Friday night is and Saturday we're doing Jumpstart.
Jumpstart launches tomorrow.
Jumpstart is one of the things that's been delayed a little bit. I got a partial shipment, and by the time I give my people their pre-orders, I've got enough to make sure that every player that comes in should get 2 packs,
right,
and a promo card, and they can either play with us here, or they can take their 2 packs and their promo card home with them. There's not going to be any further prizing, but hopefully other people will show up tomorrow night and we'll play some Jumpstart. If you want to play again, as long as I have enough product, you can play again, okay? So again, I have a very limited amount of product because this is one of those things. I'm getting the rest of my Jumpstart hopefully by the end of the month.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that in just a little bit, though.
They pushed back. It was supposed to be released a few weeks ago, and they pushed back the release, and then there's still product slowly eking out. I mean, the big C word, it hurt the supply lines and the printing, and it backed everything up, and they're still trying to catch up.
It's changed. So we're going to be playing for fun, not prizes, and if you're not into that, then don't show up. It's pretty simple. If you wanted to show up and get your 2 packs for $15, 2 packs for $15, and you'll get the Scholar of the Troves. Yep. I think that's the name of it. Did I write it down in here?
Scholar of the Troves or Scholar of the Lost
I meant to, but I must have forgot. Yeah, the Scholar of the Lost Troves.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll get one of those for just buying the 2 packs.
Yep.
And then if you want to take them home, very welcome to. And Saturday night's going to be the same thing. Now, I'm sure we're going to have some Commander breakout.
Oh, obviously.
Commander is probably the #1 thing we play here.
We had Commander nights tonight, actually.
We did. We played Commander tonight, Thursday night Commander.
Right.
It's not Commander nights anymore because it's not a sanctioned WotC event.
Right.
We are still keeping track of some achievements, and I'm still going to give out some prizes when you hit every 7 achievements. So I've got some signed cards. I've got some, just some different things I'm going to hand out. So keep coming out and playing. I'm still going to take care of my people. All right.
I'm going to play Commander as long as I'm allowed to.
Keep going to your LGS to if you have to purchase curbside where you're at.
Yeah.
If you have to order online. If they're offering events, even wearing a mask. Please support your LGS wherever you are. I beg of you, because things could get rough again. All right.
They could, and I know there's some LGSs out there that have really been doing everything.
We've
they
already
can.
lost some.
Yeah, there's several that have
We've already
closed
lost
down.
some.
There's some that have tried to do everything they can to be able to stay open. Trying to just whatever they can do. Especially in like the bigger cities, I've heard about some of the big ones actually put the shields up on their tables, split their tables with shields and stuff like that.
You can't socially distance
Right.
to play Magic. We sat down and tried at a 6-foot table
Yeah.
from end to end.
I have no idea what was going on.
No, I mean, no. So, anyway, that being said, we did get an announcement this week that Commander Collection Green,
Yep.
which is supposed to come out September 4th, has been delayed 3 months.
Yeah.
December 4th is the new release date for that. And that's not the first one. We're still waiting on Planeswalker decks
Right.
for Core Set 2021, even though mass market has gotten them. So if you went to Walmart or you went to Target or someplace like that, you may
Right.
have seen them. I'm hopeful that none of you canceled your orders with your LGS that you put in, because eventually we'll get our orders, and if we don't have people to sell them to, we get stuck with them. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully your LGSs aren't going to get caught with this product when it finally comes to them. I don't think everyone understands this, so I'm going to go over it real quick, but the distribution system for mass market and for hobby is different.
Right.
Walmart doesn't order their stuff from the same place I do. Now, why it is that the mass market got their product before us, that concerns me a little bit. That the product they had didn't get dumped into the hobby side first. We are the community builders. Now, if the mass market's selling more material, I guess that's why. But I really think WotC ought to take a look at it, and if they value us as community builders, I'd like to see them dump the first part of the supply into the hobby system. And I don't know how the back end works.
Right.
Honest to God, goodness, maybe it's not even possible. I don't know how it works. But when they have it printed, rather than shipping it to the mass market distributors, send it to the hobby distributors, even if it's a little earlier than normal, and then send it to the others. Let us get it first. Lots of stores I've seen in the retailer groups I'm a part of having to cancel orders for Jumpstart and whatnot, refund money. First off, I'm about to the point I'm not taking money unless I know I get it.
Right.
Okay, and a lot of stores are that way. It's hurting LGSs, guys. Please take care of your local game store wherever you are. So I think I'm trying to think. The Secret Lair got Ultimate Edition got pushed back and pushed back. We finally got it. I can't think of anything else right now. The Arena starters, which most of you and franchise players don't give a flip about.
Right.
But for me, to teach new players Magic, they did away with the free welcome decks.
Right.
And now it's an MTG Arena starter, it's called. And we don't have those. I've heard they're in mass market as well. I don't have them yet, so if somebody comes in wanting to learn to play, I've got to dig out my own deck, find an old welcome deck or something to teach them with. I don't have this newest thing to sell them.
Right.
And I don't know. I've heard maybe by the end of the month, maybe in August. I don't know. So we do have some delays that the big C word is causing. Hopefully we get past that. We haven't heard anything about it causing delays for Zendikar Rising this fall, but you know, who's to say?
Right. Well, before Zendikar Rising, because starting next week, we'll have double Masters previews starting.
I haven't. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to that.
Well, I know that July 25th, I believe it was when Mero is supposed to do his big presentation for Comic-Con online.
Comic-Con online.
And do his Zendikar presentation.
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
And I heard some other people talking that we're supposed to be pretty much in the middle of Double Masters previews when that happens.
Oh, I figured that would be the kickoff for it.
No, because he's going to be talking about Zendikar.
Oh, he's talking about Zendikar. Okay, yeah.
So we're probably going to see a Zendikar card or two, kind of like we did last year with Eldraine. But it's going to happen while we're in the middle of getting previews for Double Masters.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so that's something to be looking forward to. We'll actually be hitting on that with Reblogatog, I believe.
I mean, we saw the 10 cards or whatever it was out of Double Masters 2 months ago, but we haven't seen anything else.
Yeah. So, with sanctioned play going away, and I talked a little bit about it a while ago, and promo cards not being able to give out for playing in the store, I am allowed to use them for sales incentives.
Yes.
So, what I've chosen to do here at the Guild is that if you spend $40 in Magic Sealed or singles, you'll get a non-foil promo pack from either Ikoria or Core 21, because I still have some Ikoria left, with your purchase. Now, it has to be Magic singles or Magic Sealed product, not dice or sleeves or anything. If you spend $80, you'll get a foil pack and a non-foil pack.
Oh, nice.
So you get 2 packs. So every $40 you spend, so, we'll just go, if you go to 120, we'll give you another non-foil. You go to 160, we'll get you 2 foils, 2 regulars. That kind of thing. That's how it's going to work, all right? So that's what'll be going on here. I've got those. It's going to help incentivize, help keep your LGSs open. I know it sounds like it's for me, but I mean for all of them.
Yeah.
When we're able to travel again and I'm able to go on vacations, I like to stop at other LGSs and see what they do. So I want to be able to stop at other LGSs and not have to go to the big cities where the great big ones are. I want to see some of the smaller local shops. So that's what we're doing. I'm not real big on the Arena because I don't do the digital.
Right.
I know Alan does, but
yeah, I haven't played a lot of Arena recently, but I keep up with what's going on, and we are going to have Amonkhet Remastered coming soon. I don't know if I heard an exact date on when we're getting Amonkhet Remastered, but they're wanting to move backwards with cards because we start at Ixalan, is where we have cards in Arena.
yeah, sounds right.
So, an Amonkhet Remastered, I assume it's going to... I don't play... never played any Magic Online, but I assume it's going to be like Tempest Remastered. Some remastered sets they did there. It will not be every card out of Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation, but it is going to be probably all the big tournament playable ones and all the good stuff, and probably a lot of chaff getting left behind would be my assumption. To push that into Historic, and as part of their working backwards to fulfill the promise of getting Pioneer on Arena in the future, they're going to have to work backwards through those sets to get there.
But another thing they're doing to help that Pioneer is they're going to do a Pioneer Masters.
Yes,
I heard. So
I don't know as much about. I know they
by the end of the year, I've heard.
See, I hadn't heard that yet. I'd heard a lot of people talk about a Pioneer Masters could be a great thing, but I hadn't heard that yet. So that
I'm curious what that means for the Pioneer format, since there's no paper until at least next year.
We'll talk about the Pioneer format when we get to the BNR parts.
Oh, okay. All right.
We can talk about what we think about the Pioneer format and what they...
Okay. All right, so esports on MTG Arena is, again, I read stuff, but I don't know a lot of things. Apparently, it's really whacked out now.
Yeah.
There was some talk about they didn't like the same people always being part of it, so they threw out the baby with the bathwater kind of thing. They took the top 4, and they're inviting people nobody understands how to be parts of the new MPL.
It's being treated as it has become more less competent, I believe, in a way that they're finding new and different streamers to keep people entertained to watch instead of just the best Magic players in the world. Because for a long time, I mean, the top hasn't changed a lot in even a decade in high-level Magic. New people come and some people
Man, it used to mean something to be a pro player. It used to mean something to be in the Hall of Fame. I'll watch Johnny Magic play any day.
Yeah.
Any day I'll watch him play. I'd rather see him playing paper.
Yeah.
I don't watch digital, but I'd rather see him playing paper.
Him or the German Terror. Kai Buddha, or that.
There's lots of people I like to watch play.
They're the best Magic players and have been for a long time.
BBD.
Yeah. I haven't listened to it yet, but sorry to. The last drive to work that he did, because he's interviewing people now, he interviewed Chris Picula, actually.
Oh.
And I think that, I'm planning to listen to that. That'd be interesting.
It's important, even though we've dumped the DCI and all that. It's real important for us to remember where we came from. So I'm real concerned about where we're headed. Even though I'm not into tournament Magic, it is a thing, and I would like for it to stay a thing.
Yeah, I understand that it's not. I don't believe WotC is doing some of what's been happening by choice. Obviously, it is by necessity with COVID. They can't have they've got to try to push things the only direction they can to keep.
Oh, they are. Yeah.
I understand that. I don't like it as well, but I'm not going to be able to watch high-level Magic in paper for the rest of the year.
Look, my hopes and dreams rest in the fact that when paper can happen again, that Star City starts back up, and that some other large groups like Channel Fireball, or Troll and Toad, or Card Kingdom, or ABU Games, or there's a lot of big ones out there.
A lot of them.
Start their own tournament series and give us paper Magic. I have from a fairly reliable source that Channel Fireball is not going to be doing Grand Prix next year. They're already out. Well, I don't know if everybody already knows that, and I just learned it, but they're out.
It's been
There's no Grand Prix even thought about at this point.
It's been fairly. People are starting to. There's been a lot of signs towards that. Apparently, CFB events, the website, some things keep slowly disappearing from the websites.
They don't have any judges working for them anymore. They don't have anybody to organize the events.
Actually, their entire staff page is for CFB events. So slowly, it looks like CFB events is just not going to exist.
Privatize these things. I've thought Magic ought to go this route for about 5 years or so. I think Commander is excellent, and I think if WotC would turn loose a Vintage and let I can't think of who runs a Vintage Weekend.
Eternal Weekend.
Eternal Weekend. Let them manage that.
Yep.
If they would turn loose a Legacy, let somebody buy the rights to manage that.
Yep.
Maybe hold on to Modern, Pioneer, and Standard because they can kind of design for those.
Right.
And just let those old formats go.
I think that's.
I don't think that's bad. And get other TOs to run events. I think it's still lucrative once we can play paper and gather together again.
Right.
I think that's a thing that can be done. I'd like to see it. I really would like to see that. Anyway, since we were talking about the BNR, should we go ahead and jump on that?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump on the BNR.
If you want to talk about this historic thing, which I tapped out on, just go right ahead.
I will talk about historic because it is where most of the things happened in this BNR. Not the most interesting, but it is where most of the things happened. First off, we had Agent of Treachery, Winota, and Fires of Invention move from suspended to banned. No surprises there.
So you get some new wild cards.
Yeah. Nexus of Fate, straight up banned. No, not just best of one. Nexus of Fate gone. No time on the suspension list. It's just gone. Everybody hates it. People don't want to play against it. They're getting ready to have their big work now, and I think a lot of it comes down to they don't want to be showing that. It's not. Nobody wants to watch those matches.
Nobody wants to watch that.
So Nexus of Fate gone, and then added to our suspended list is Burning Tree Emissary. That came out,
which will be banned in 3 months.
Maybe. I mean, we have had one card that came off suspended. Field of the Dead did. But Burning Tree Emissary was in historic anthologies, actually. Wizards, it's one of the curated cards they specifically added to historic, and they've now had to pull it because essentially the Nexus decks and the Gruul decks were the most powerful decks in historic. And they were afraid if they hit Nexus, then Gruul runs wild. And I
don't think it's coming back.
Burning Tree Emissary is just good. I mean, when you can turn 1 Llanowar Elf and turn 2 Burning Tree Clothis, it's sickening, and yeah. Well, we're going to skip this one and go back to it last. We'll go to Modern, where
everybody saw this coming.
Arkham's Astrolabe banned. It needed to be that card just play your
snow-covered lands, and you can play five color goodies.
Yeah. a card that replaces itself and makes mana colors not mean anything. Imagine it's too good. Pauper, here are some great bans actually. Expedition Map got banned. They're trying to shut down. They're trying to stop Tron.
Tron takes a hit.
I mean,
Tron's share of the metagame just went down.
Yeah.
The consistency of Tron is gone.
Yes, that really...
Natural Tron is going to be really awesome when you hit it now.
Oh, yeah. And Mystic Sanctuary, banned. Yeah. That card, from the moment it was printed almost, especially when you look at it in Pauper, it's just too good.
Having a 50-cent common in Standard is telling you something.
Yeah, it's just too good when you can just bounce. Yeah. But if we get back to what everybody has been talking about, if you've been online, it's Pioneer. Our darling child of a format they created for us. We all fell in love, and then a pandemic hit, and we haven't got to play. Well, Oath of Nissa is unbanned. Full stop.
Good.
Full stop.
Good. They hit green too hard anyway. Give it some back.
Yeah, but essentially they didn't do anything to a dead format is the problem with this. They didn't hit either of the two combos that are destroying the format. I mean, they can't get their challenges to fire on Magic Online right now because it's become degenerate. Inverter is the worst offender from what I hear. And then
the win percentages aren't there from what I read.
Well, if you don't have any data from no challenges,
people still playing the format just because there's no challenges. They get all the format for every Pioneer game played. Win percentages. Wizards doesn't like to ban stuff unless there's like a 55% or better.
Over 55 is like the magic number.
Yeah.
When they hit 56.
And it's not there. So, again, I think because we don't have paper, they're maybe giving it a little bit more play.
Maybe. I've heard the theory that possibly they're waiting to hit those bad combo decks until we can play paper again to try to reinvigorate people to hit the paper tournaments. I feel like that's a bad strategy if that's what they're doing, but maybe that is the plan.
Or maybe until they get Pioneer live.
Yeah, because it feels like it's... they even addressed and pretty much told everybody that plays Pioneer, you're wrong, which doesn't usually go over well. Because they specifically say, we know that everybody thinks the combo decks are degenerate and running the format, but the data doesn't say so. And every Pioneer player I know of has said, yes, that's what's happening, and that's why people don't want to play. So, like I said, I don't play Magic Online, so I don't have the knowledge there, but that makes me sad because it's a fantastic format. They did a great job at when they did weekly bannings in the beginning. They helped build it seemed like the mid-range format we all wanted to play. You could play mid-range, because right now I've heard several people talk about there's no format where you can play mid-range right now in Magic. And that's kind of a problem.
Well, there very seldom is.
Right. Well,
unless it's Standard. Everything's about combos, non-interactive. I guess mid-range and Legacy is turn 5, but still.
Right. But that's our banning. There's Pioneer. I hope Pioneer Masters, it feels like Wizards isn't, I don't know. I hope Pioneer Masters trying to get more onto Arena will help them do something with the format, because a lot of the content I even consume is about Pioneer, and they're not putting out much right now.
I hope Pioneer doesn't become a new historic.
Frontier, or just disappear. Historic is going.
No, I mean MTG Arena based only.
Right.
Where the arena governs what's playable. I don't want that. I want paperback, and I want that. So, all right. So we're going to move along. We're going to talk a little bit. We're going to discuss. It's not a I'm right, you're wrong segment, which we haven't done in a long time.
We haven't done one of those
because I think we're on the same page here. But standard rotation. Is it good? Should we change it? So, if you're not familiar with standard rotation, it happens every fall.
Mm-hmm.
You basically knock out 4 sets from 2 years, the previous 2 year, and so you go from 8 sets down to 5. So when Zendikar Rising comes out, we're going to lose Guilds of Ravnica, Ravnica Allegiance, War of the Spark, and Core 2020.
Right.
We're going to lose 4 when we get 1 and go down to 5 sets. We'll build back up till we get 8, and then we'll do it all again. Now, back in 2014, they did a little something different, and they tried twice yearly rotation.
Yes.
So every two sets, because we went from having the 3-in-1. Well, it's not called the 3-in-1. We went from having blocks where we'd have a fall set, winter set, spring set that were all together, and then a core set. We went from doing that to having 2 sets, blocks that were 2 sets long.
Right. And no core sets.
And so rotation would happen every 6 months. We'd kick out a block of 2 sets. And that happened for about a year and a half, really.
Yeah.
We say 2 years, but it really happened for about a year and a half.
They did it 3 times, I believe, yeah.
And then, because of popular demand and people were griping, they went back to the old system. And they keep using, I think, the same data
Yeah.
to justify not trying anything different. And some people even say, well, they don't need to be trying that rotation thing. Every time they try it, it messes it up. Well, they've only tried it once.
Right.
So I think we're on the same page. We've seen a lot of people post this. I've heard a lot of comments about it. I like the idea of rotating 1 in, 1 out.
Yes.
So whether we leave it at 8 being the max.
8. I heard somebody suggest 6 to where you don't end up with 2 core sets most of the time. You only end up ever having kind of 1 core set. That won't quite always work, but you'll be closer to whatever the size they decide.
We only have 4 sets a year, so you're going to end up with 2 core sets most of the time. So that seems really easy.
Right.
You get to play with your cards. If we leave it at 8, you get to play with your cards for 2 years still. Doesn't change that.
Right.
Every time a new set comes out, then the oldest set drops off. It doesn't seem that hard. New players aren't going to know any different, so why would they care?
Right.
And I think even people, it's going to change decks because you're going to lose a set. And now that we don't do blocks, I know we've got Ravnica where we stayed there for a year, but now that we don't do blocks, plus all the sets are draftable individually. Guilds of Ravnica stood on its own.
Yeah, you didn't need to
each set is draftable by itself. It's not all tied together in the same way that they used to be. I really think this is a good idea. I'd like to see it get traction. I'd like to see us move that way. I think it would make the format healthier.
I do. I would stay fresh more often. The decks wouldn't stagnate the way they do. There would have to be constant innovation. I mean, there are the people that gripe about rotation to begin with. Well, they don't play standard. But the people that do play standard enjoy standard. The rotation is what they enjoy. The format changes. This keeps it changing more often, which I think is a better thing for the kind of format it is.
I think that's what we want. I actually think this,
more rotations is.
I think it would make better sense. I think it would be easy for people to understand.
Right.
Oh, a new set came out.
Take out
the oldest set I have is gone. That's very simple. It was not as simple. It's simpler than 2 sets go out because 1 set came in.
Yeah.
No, because then we were doing 6, 7, 6, 7. I think is what it was.
Yeah.
So this would just be like there's always 8 or there's always 6, whatever the number. I think 8's fine.
Yeah.
There's just always 8 sets. So anyway, we're on that.
We're
on that team.
Yeah.
And we thought we would bring that up. Moving along here, we're going to talk a little bit about Commander. So I read an article this week, and I didn't get the deets on it. Sorry, but I'm pretty sure it came off Cool Stuff. Don't remember who wrote it. Don't remember what the name of it was. But it got me to thinking about Commander and some do's and don'ts, I'm going to call them. They call them something else, but it got me thinking about do's and don'ts. And we've talked a little bit lately about power levels.
Yeah. Power levels are
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is competitive. 1 is like you threw a pile of crap together.
Right. There is a commander, and there are 99 other cards.
Yes.
That's essentially a 1.
And we like the 5 to 7 range. I think we're
5 to 7.
5 to 7. I think those are good.
Yeah.
But the command zone has done a lot of work putting some of this stuff together, doing data crunches.
Yeah, they've
done a lot of people get their information from that or EDH Rec. And there seems to be some consensus that boils down to you need to play 35 or 36 lands or 37, whatever.
Right.
You need to play 5 spot removals or 5 mass removals, or you need to play 10 draw spells or 10 ramp spells or whatever.
Right.
That these are must-dos. I got to say I don't see it. You're just homogenizing all the decks, and I don't believe that's what Commander's about. And I will get more into this than my youngster here will when I say that I think you're doing it wrong when you get to that. Again, Rule 0 lets you play Commander however you want as long as you all agree. But I think the spirit of Commander was not in every deck has a Soul Ring, every deck plays 36 lands, every deck has 10 ramp, 10 draw, 5 master. No, because then you're just playing Vintage, except with a 100-card singleton, where they play the same cards and they have 3 flex slots to build their deck out of. I don't want to see that happen. So I don't think we need to be looking at it that way.
I agree with some of what you say, I do, but I don't necessarily agree that that framework always leads to that. I don't believe that I like to call it a framework. I don't think it has to be followed exactly, but to make a good playable deck, I believe that some of those are things like we see it a lot, even in our play group sometimes. I kind of wish everybody would run at least 5 pieces of single target removal interaction, because that falls by the wayside at times when everybody just threw all their favorite cards, and we need more interaction. We talk about that a lot in our play group.
Sometimes, but that doesn't mean we don't have it. Sometimes nobody draws it.
That's true.
Somebody runs away with the group. It does happen.
It's true, but if everybody, and I think maybe the numbers could be adjusted, but I think a basic framework is not a horrible idea to have for a deck. Not for you have to have this card, you have to have this card, but to help you get card advantage. For
new players that start out, a framework is fine until they learn. I just don't think we should be following a formula to build our decks. I don't like the idea of that. And that leads into the other do and don't that we thought we'd talk about, and that's net decking your Commander deck. So again, if you're a new player, and I've said this for a long time, I have some old friends that have been around for a while that net decking is like saying net decking is in the N word.
Yes.
if I'm allowed to say that, which I already did, it's an N word. Net decking is. You don't net deck. You come up with your own ideas. You don't go look at somebody else's deck.
Right.
When I opened my store, I learned quickly that is the easiest way to teach somebody to build decks.
Yeah.
And say, hey, go look at these decks that you like, that you see people playing, look at the list, and build that list.
Yeah.
Or something close to it out of what it will do is it will help you learn how to build a deck.
Yes.
It will increase your ability to build a deck because, oh wow, they always play 24 lands at least,
Yeah.
Or this is an elf deck with a lot of, but they're still at 22 or something. You will learn deck building strategies by copying others. That's how we learn a lot of the things that we learn, by copying other people.
Right.
So I think it's fine to go to some place like EDH Rec to get your ideas when you're new, when you're fresh. I think it's okay to have some standard guidelines, like you ought to have some mass removal. You need to have some way to get rid of a land in your deck if somebody is going crazy with Nykthos or something, whatever.
Right.
I think it's fine to teach them those things.
Make sure you put a Ghost Quarter, Field of Ruin, something in there.
Something so that you don't just. Yeah, you always try to put answers. If you don't have an answer, you need to know that you don't have an answer, and you need to try to beat it anyway.
And that's why
so you need to have another way.
And that's one of the reasons why I say something like some kind of framework. I don't want to detail you need to play these cards, but it helps you remember. Yeah, you need to make sure you put some removal, some single target interaction removal in that deck. In every deck, you need to be able to do those things. And sometimes, if you're just finding all the cool splashy cards to build a Commander deck, all of a sudden you're playing it and realize anybody else does. I'm just sitting here waiting to get to 6 mana to start dropping these big guys,
I am of the belief that if you net deck, that if you just go copy a deck, that you've done it wrong. You're not going to move me off that. Commander is so open to interpretation, to building things
It
a
is.
unique way. I think you're probably playing competitive at that point.
You know,
Whether you believe it or not, I think you're leaning towards competitive when you're going to go take and you're going to look, oh, all these cards have 70% synergy. This commander gets played. There's 3,000 of this commander, 30 of this one. I'm going to pick the one with 3,000. I'm going to play all the really good cards that everybody else is playing.
I don't believe that's all necessarily true. I believe a lot of times, very possibly, but there are also just people out there who either don't have the time or just are not good at building decks. They may be good at playing Magic, very much enjoy it, and they might net deck some dumb meme deck. But they didn't come up with the idea of all these characters have a hat, right? But they found it online. There is, I agree, most times you're probably running that, but there are some people that they don't have the time to sit down and brew a deck themselves, or they're not any good at it.
So you think I should go to EDH Rec and you think somebody wants to copy my ampersand deck?
Maybe. I don't think that you're necessarily the only person in the world that would ever have that idea and want to do it.
I don't know. Anybody else out there got an ampersand deck? How about a 2-land deck? Anybody got a 2-land commander deck? Hit me up if you dare. We're going to move along. I do want to remind you, next week we're going to be doing Pioneer on Friday night.
Yep.
And then we're going to have a mystery draft a week from Saturday. So, $30 entry on the mystery draft. Winner's going to take home the Mecha Godzilla.
Oh.
Because that's the buy a box card.
Yep.
So, winner's going to take that home. I might throw some other stuff in there. If you're not aware, the MTG Companion app dropped this week.
Yep, today.
It's out of beta. It's fully functional.
Yesterday.
I think they're still going to make some changes to it, but it's not something you have to have.
No.
But going forward, it's going to be handy if you have a Magic account, like you play MTG Arena or whatever,
Right.
because DCI numbers don't exist. If you have a Magic account,
I think I'm going to frame my original DPI card at some point.
and you download MTG Companion app, when you go to an LGS or a bigger event, when we get them back, you can get a code to the event, sign into the event. Your pairings will come out that way. Your standings will come out that way. And you'll be able to report your matches, all paperless, through the Companion app. So it's really, it's available on Android and iPhone, iOS, whatever. It's available on both now.
Yes.
So check that out. Download it. It'll just be, it's got a live tracker on there for you if you want to use that.
Yeah.
You can use it. You can use it to run your own events at home.
You want to do pairings.
You want to do a draft at home and set up random pairings. It'll do that.
Yep.
If you want to run a league or something, you can do it using that, and it'll do your pairings. So definitely check that out, guys. Okay. And can you believe it? Can you believe it? We here at Grove Gamers Guild are less than 2 months away from our 10th anniversary.
10 years.
Hey, and there's 10 people watching. What a deal. I timed that out. Only a couple months away. Less than 2 months.
Yeah.
So in September, after Labor Day, we will be celebrating because on September 10th, 2010, I opened Grove Gamers Guild, a little 400 square foot place just across the way from us. I've moved twice since then.
But about 100 yards, I mean, like a football field away, right?
Yeah, it's not very far. Not very far. I opened up there. Some of the people that are coming today have been coming with me since I first opened. They've been coming and playing Magic and showing up. So I do have a few things in the work. You guys got some ideas? Something you'd like to see me do? Hit me up. Talk to me. Come into the shop. Drop me a line. Let me know. I'm going to have some window decals will be coming pretty soon.
Nice.
They'll have a 10th anniversary logo, so haven't had those in a while.
No, it's been a bit.
I'm going to co-op those with you. If you pay half, I'm paying half. I think they're going to cost about $3 a piece.
All right.
They costed me $6, so I'm going to ask you help me pay for half. If you want to put it on your window. That way I'll make sure that if I give you one, it gets put on your car. That's the reason I'm going to charge $3.
Sounds fair to me.
I've also got ready to put on t-shirts and play mats. So my regulars, I'm going to be asking if they want t-shirts soon. So I'm looking at doing some play mats and some t-shirts for the 10th anniversary.
New play mats would be sweet.
And another thing I'm looking at doing is probably by invite only. So some of you will be getting an invite probably in the next week or so for a chaos draft on September 12th. That's a Saturday night. And it's going to be a $10 entry, but by invite only, trying to get 16 players for this event. So my locals, you'll be watching for those. If you've been playing at the store for years, more than likely you're going to get one. And some of my new people are going to get them too. It's not going to just go to the old timers. So those are some of the things I've got in the works. I'm not going to give the store away for my 10th anniversary. There will be some sales going. If you haven't been in lately, I do have a orange tag sale going. Everything with the orange tag on it is, if you buy one, you're getting it for 20% off. You buy two, it's 30% off.
And
three of them is 40% off.
Yep.
So that's a sale that's going on right now. Might be going on all the way up to that weekend. Might end before then. So you better come check, see what's on an orange tag. So that's the stuff we've got. Alan, have we missed anything? Has there been any comments in the section there that we need to get to?
Not a lot, really.
We're shooting.
We had Mike Boykin in here earlier.
We're shooting close. We're about 50 minutes, so we're running close to our hour like normal.
I didn't see any questions so far. Like I said, I had Mike Boykin make a couple comments earlier.
I feel like we've hit all the stuff that I said we were going to hit.
Yeah. I do want to just touch on the fact, I want to touch on Jumpstart, even though I haven't got the chance to play it yet.
Tomorrow.
I know. I might try to come out after I get off work, depending on what time I get out of there. I do just the concept.
All day, guys. Sorry to interrupt. All day. I've got some of them open. I can play you if you come in.
Oh,
and you can't come in for the regular Magic time tomorrow night. You can come in anytime during the day. I'll play you if you want to play.
That's awesome. I'm glad we talked about it. I just want to say I think the idea is fantastic. I haven't got the chance to play it yet, but I do think it's probably the coolest or second coolest thing WotC's done since I've been back in Magic for 3 or 4 years. It's right there. It's with Battle Bond. Battle Bond was really cool in my opinion, and I think the coolest thing they've done in almost ever. Just, it's so easy. It's a great way to teach new people to play. It's a great way to be able to play at the drop of a hat. It seems like
I plan on keeping mine all separated so that I can mix them in different ways.
I know we don't have.
I've got 4 so far, so I've got several combinations I can make.
I know we don't have GPs and stuff now, but to take like a GP or something in between rounds or something, like, hey, you want to game a Jumpstart real quick? Like, shuffle go.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I'm excited for everybody to come out this weekend. I want to try to make it out. It just seems like one of the most innovative things WotC's done that I can think of anyway.
Absolutely. I believe that's going to do it. Again, we're not opening packs. If you stuck around for opening packs, not opening packs because those are sales incentives now.
I miss opening packs.
So I apologize for that.
We should figure out some box breaks.
I am looking at some box breaks, thinking about doing a VIP double masters.
Ooh.
How many people would be interested in that at $10 a piece? It's a 35 card pack that costs about $100. So 10 people for $10 a piece. We could do a VIP double masters. I also have a collector's booster from 2021. Thinking about doing that as well.
That'd be pretty cool.
So I'll check into that and see what that. I just thought of that today, so have to look and see what that would cost. We might do that. That would be more than $10 or $12 a piece.
Yes.
But anyway, those are some things we're looking at, so we can buzz some packs on camera for you. If you got something else you're interested in, let us know.
Let us know.
Drop us a comment.
Maybe
appreciate it.
Before I say too much, I don't know how many boxes or anything you got, but maybe even like something like a Ikoria if you still got any boxes. I don't know how you got hit on it, but it seems like that's a set we're all going to forget about.
I can still get a Ikoria, so, you know. As long as you're not saying like Innistrad or something crazy, you know.
But Ikoria seems like, I'm afraid it's going to be the set we're all going to forget about because it got delayed with the COVID, and then M21 came so close behind it. I'm afraid that Ikoria is just going to kind of
I did not draft it as much as I would like to have drafted.
Because we are almost right into M21 at that point.
You guys get to one, gather up, buy a box, and you can do your own draft. Or hit me up and tell me. We can maybe punch one in on a Wednesday night or something, even though I'm not normally here.
Right.
I close at 6, or maybe we can get one on a Saturday afternoon.
I just thought I'd mention that because I've been considering maybe grabbing another box of Ikoria because, like I said, it just feels like Corey, I hardly knew you. You know,
I would have liked to have drafted a little bit more. I'll be straight up honest there.
So
yes,
it was a very
most
fun
definitely.
environment. So, but I think that is probably all we have. Then,
Yeah,
guys.
we've got a shooter reblog check those out, guys.
Yeah.
If you like what we're doing here, check out Reblog on the YouTube channel, Grove Gamers Guild. Go there. We've got almost 20 episodes of it
Almost
done.
20.
So go check those out. That's stuff from Mark Rosewater, the head designer, his Tumblr account. He calls Blogatog. We regurgitate stuff from the previous week every week, and not everything he does because he posts a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff, yeah.
I try to pick what I think is the most entertaining, and we do. Oh, we've done anywhere from 20 minutes to like 45 or something. Depends. I think this week's probably in the 20, 30-minute range. And we do a little recap of some things that he talks about.
Right.
So anyway, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope to see a bunch of you come out and play Jumpstart. I'd like to sell out of it. I've only got a couple boxes worth to do this with, so that's why it's a limit 2 packs per person.
Right.
But if we get into the night and there's not been that many people playing, maybe you get a second turn decks. So anyway, until I see you out here at Grove Gamers Guild to play, just remember that
Grove Gamers Guild is where
everybody
knows
knows
your
your
game.